I don't know if you had heard of that cult of people who are trans. They actually took
Post Millennial's been covering this a lot, right?
Yes. When you said Post Millennial, I heard Post Malone. But
if he's covering this, that's even funnier.
Yeah, this says, I have to pay for it. Well, this says a trans vegan death cult linked to 6 killings, recruited highly educated scientists, took sex change hormones, banned sleep, and walked around nude while wearing gas masks.
And then things took a very dark turn.
They're linked to the death of a border agent, right?
Yes. But we
You're
don't what was their mission? And why did being trans, what did trans have to do with it? Yeah, how did that factor in? How did walking around nude and gas masks? This is a type of cult I want to know more about. This is not a boring cult. This is extremely interesting.
Are people talking about it in Vermont, Styx? Is this local news?
I haven't heard anyone else that I know of actually mention it at all.
That's funny.
This says
it's probably the information is suppressed locally because the government here is so massively left-leaning.
It
says a driver of a Toyota.
Interesting.
Yeah, and passenger named Ophelia were under police surveillance after staff at their motel became suspicious for wearing black tactical clothing. The pair had wrapped their phones in tinfoil in an apparent attempt to attack. I mean, these people were. This is full Jeremy cult. I need a movie about this immediately. I need the Netflix special. The Netflix will probably portray them as the heroes.
Andy No has been covering this, I think, or at least he's been posting about it. Post Millennial's been covering it. You guys should team up and executive produce something.
Yeah, I would commit the money for it. Do you hear me, Andy? I would commit the money to getting a documentary made about this.
A documentary about the trans vegan cult.
These people are crazy. Taking LSD all day, walking around nude wearing gas masks, wrapping your phones in tinfoil. They took the life of 6
though. The
people.
last one makes tinfoil on your phone,
He's just like us. Yeah. But both allege somehow that they've been drawn to the mysterious, deeply sinister group called the Zizians, a radical vegan death cult that you also had to be trans. What is going on? The victims include an 82-year-old California landowner who it is claimed had his throat slit. And then the parents of another Zizian, the group who both died of GSWs to the head, shot them both in the head. In the past few days, 3 or more Zizians have been held after a landowner in Maryland complained to the police about them. Wearing all black clothing, ammunition belts, they approached him last Sunday and said they asked to camp for a month. I mean, if anybody approaches you and asks to camp on your land, say no. I don't think this isn't the 60s anymore, guys. There's no scenario where this would be okay.
They're not just nice deadheads who are wandering through and need a place to crash for a while.
Right. The leader is 34-year-old Jack Amadeus Lasota, also known as Ziz. Another is Michelle Zachjo, a 33-year-old currently transitioning from female to male. It's always these female to males, by the way. This individual has a master's degree in bioinformatics and is an intense interest to police across the United States. What is going on here? This is a super cult that we're just going to say Curtis Lynn lost an eye when he was attacked by the Zizians with a knife and a Japanese sword and allegedly killed by Maximilian Snyder when his throat was slit. So they must have attacked him twice.
They're pretty widespread, right? They're all in different states for some of these crimes.
I think so.
Seems like they're not super centrally located, which makes me assume there's some sort of internet component.
Yeah, they're on Discord or something like that. They're here's an Oxford-educated data scientist. I mean, these are not your.
So a bunch of these people are like into like the cyber culture sort of thing. Like they're like computer engineers and shit.
Yeah, they could like work for NSA or something like that. You know,
Could be a psyop. Yeah.
yeah, it's very, very weird. I need to know more about this. I might have to deploy Hannah Claire to dig deeper onto this one too, because I think
Getting
this
so
is
much homework today.
yeah, like nobody other than Annie, nobody's doing work on this. Nobody's talking about it.
Mhm.
And it's like these people took the life of 6 people. That's more than most cults.
And no one's been convicted yet, right? They're like arrested and on trial,
Yeah.
but there's not like we're still getting information from law enforcement about their investigation.
Right. Most cults never take the life of anybody. They like the overwhelming majority of cults don't kill anybody. But this one killed 6 people. Like, do they
Can you grab it?
Yeah, your package. Someone talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Styx, about your package. Do you need to open it on stream? Somebody was very
If you want me to, just give me a second.
It's from Styx?
Yeah. Yeah, go get it. The prosecution claims that Snyder killed Lynn to prevent him from testifying in the trial of his fellow Zizians for the first attack. And he hasn't entered like, how are you not all over this, Hannah Claire? This is your bread and butter. This is true crime.
I love cult stuff. I'm actually
think-
still kind of deep in the weeds on the Koberger stuff, but
I know that case is falling apart though.
it's fascinating. It's just because
Yeah.
it's coming up this year. I think this cult is weird and interesting. It's also, again, like I said, how cults have changed. It's not
Yeah.
like Jim Jones where he was like, I have a church in this city. You come to the church, you get indoctrinated. We then create satellite campuses. We then move to Ghana, and it spreads out geographically. These people seem semi-nomadic. They're tied to a bunch of different states. And I also can't totally understand, and I will research it and get back to you on this, like what their central motivation is. Like cults
Yeah.
are weird because you want things to make sense and they don't. You can't like really ascribe logic to all of it. On the other hand, like this to me does seem like a group of people who got like very weird on some sort of internet server, and I don't know, that it's hard to explain what their central thesis is. Although I will argue they're sort of left wing.
Oh, they're definitely left wing. But like, what are they? What is their? I want to know what their goal is. Like,
Yeah, what's their
every
origin? Like,
cult has a goal, right? Or
Right.
an end game. What is theirs?
Right.
Or is it just a gang? Like,
I don't think that's it.
I think they are a cult, but what is, what is their, who is their Mr. Z or whatever? Like, who is going to pick them up? They have a diary that had a cipher in it, in which she mentions taking hallucinogenic drug, LSD. This is very, very odd. They killed this guy for no reason, by the way.
Mhm.
Like, these are not premeditated murders. This one wasn't.
Right. And group delusion isn't like, it's more complicated than people think. It's not like they all just start talking and suddenly like they're all weird. Like there is obviously some kind of philosophical, even if it's not logical, some sort of thread motivating all of them to cooperate and work together.
Yeah.
I assume there's a doomsday end of the world aspect to it,
Must be.
with the
Yeah.
veganism and whatever else. But again, like, but why?
Yeah, we have no idea what their end game was. So
It
yeah,
doesn't seem like there's a whistleblower that's come forward. Like you do see this with some cults towards the end, like people who have left the cult come back and are like, this is kind of what we're taught. It doesn't seem like they have unless police have that and are hiding it. Right now it just seems like they're all sort of mysterious to everyone.
the leader wears dark robes and claims to be a Sith Lord from Star Wars.
So they're not even that original if they're just copying Star Wars.
They're just crazy. Yeah, like this whole thing is bonkers. I need to know more. I need to know a lot more about what's going on with this.